And what is the intention? Like clearing energy or
So every year, so the Native Americans occupied Alcatraz for 20 months from 1969 to 1971. And since that time, on Thanksgiving, they've gone for a sunrise ceremony and everybody's welcome. But the thing over the years that is heartening to me is they're in the first few years, it was, it was called an unthanksgiving, but people are reclaiming Thanksgiving and recognizing how important it is that we all connect and work together. And so recognizing that gratitude. And the really cool privilege this year was Chief Arvil Looking Horse presided over the ceremony. And 3 days before that was the actual anniversary of the occupation. And Deb Holland, who's our first Native American cabinet member, was there on Alcatraz for that ceremony. So it's like a circle. A lot of things are coming together. That's why I said beauty, because there are so many beautiful people out there, and it's the whole symbolism of it is really nice. Recognizing the beauty and the sacredness of all beings, and that we're all connected.
what came up for me is feeling at home in my body or in a situation. And that's when I know I'm at peace. So I can watch that. And how do I cause myself to feel at home if I don't?
I pray a lot. I think that helps lead to peace, not just for me, but for others, because I like to pray for others a lot. So, I think that's a good action to do. It's kind of like putting good out into the world.
I do have some thoughts, but I'm sort of quiet and being peaceful within today. And I think peace really begins with you. And how we go about it is all individualized and then visualize for world peace. And as I say, I'm a little quiet within today. I've been feeling that way. And it's very important that sometimes we are just still. And incidentally, I have a daughter named Kelly also. It's Kellie. So we were talking about the meaning of names. And ironically, this is sort of a 90, 80, 90 name, Kelly, correct? But in a more understanding manner, let us visualize the globe in a peaceful manner, regardless of race, color, creed, and so forth, because we seem to be in a state of just being and unmeaning, if that's such a word. There's so many personal and challenging situations that we are experiencing here in the city and the state that, when we take those on, and then we have to look beyond that. And so my heart is a little heavy for some of the things that we are experiencing worldwide. Yet we have to continue to be optimistic and believe truly we will play some role and some part in coming to some understanding. And I think it's all in divine guidance, knowing that whatever state we are in, state of mind that is, a higher power remains in control, and it's for a reason.
Truth, peace, and justice are so interwoven, interconnected. For there to be justice, I really believe there needs to be truth. In order for there to be peace, there must be justice and truth. And I know the sayings this summer were no justice, no peace. And I, as an educator, turned it from N-O to K-N-O-W. Because if you do know justice and you do know truth within ourselves, truth in looking for the gifts that each of us share and have to possess to share, then you will feel and know justice. So I think I really want to, for me to reach and teach everyone that I meet how important integrity and honesty and truth are for justice to even be considered as a reality, which then the byproduct or end result would be that peacefulness and that joyfulness that comes with knowing, K-N-O-W, that our leaders in particular, and those in positions of high influence, have that integrity and honesty to be truthful, to demand justice in a peaceful way, to then truly feel and know what peace is. Me, to show that truth and peace and justice is to truly have it begin with me, but then for me also, us as especially as peace warriors or peace ambassadors, that we, with everyone that we meet in situations that we are in, that we also find that way to reach, to teach, and to connect us as a community.
Objective to the person who's faced with everybody believe they have the truth, but the actions will define that truth. We make a series of actions through our life, and those actions will define your truth. The truth can be subjective to anybody to think or have an ideal and say, this is my truth. But that's what is important, to communicate that truth in order to find the common ground. The common ground, what is the truth of the society? What is the truth of the community that we live on? That's what is important, to have open communication, to find the truth, to express ourselves. What I believe is the truth. Nobody possesses the truth alone. The truth is based on the action that we individually make and how we connect with others. That's what I believe. That's what is important. As a mediator, that to me is important, to have the conversation and the ability to communicate. Thank you.
Something I'd like to share, because this was came up when we were talking about truth and how, you know, we have a lack of it in our society right now. And I'm not sure if this is evidence of progress, but I'll share it, and I'll know more in 3 years. But I'm a trustee in a township board, and that's, you know, we get elected affiliated with a party and then work together. And just before, and it's every 4 years, and just before the election, around this time last year, one of the Republicans, were primarily been a Democratic board for a long time, and the Republicans have been gaining a seat here and there, but they tend to put articles in the paper with misinformation and lies and so forth. And one of the Republican trustees started at our government meetings speaking falsehoods about and misrepresenting what's happening with the budget, and blaming the Democratic supervisor and the history of Democratic majority trustees for doing something wrong, which he knew wasn't true. So anyway, so I just calmly corrected, you know, what he was saying, and gave the background, which he had heard before, because he did do a very rehearsed, impassioned speech about how horrible us having excess funds on hands on, and what it means to him and the people and so forth. And he hasn't spoken in untruth since then, where he was doing it every so often before that. So we'll see what happens in the next election cycle, but he's been a little bit more, at least for now, appearing to work for the people, rather than always just trying to put something forth that criticizes the Democrats in the public meetings that are recorded. So he may have been trying to get a recording of him putting that forth too. So anyway, so it's a little bit optimistic for me. And I saw some kind of a video in the last month or so where, no, I think it might have been our representative that was on the Department of Peacebuilding campaign call who said, you know, at one point long ago, if somebody's spoken untruth, depending on the situation, he might just let it drop, but we can't afford to do that anymore. If we have an untruth spoken before us, we need to stand up and present the truth. So that was very affirming to me. It's not always easy to do that in different settings, but it tells me I need to keep doing it, and I'm in good company. So thank you.
The question of truth for me is kind of a little bit deep, and I sometimes look at things a little bit differently based on my culture, my perception of how I grew up, you know, my environment, because people see things differently. Like in some languages, the way people speak, how they understand. You see what I'm saying? For example, right now we look at the situation in America with the coronavirus. There are a lot of people around here, when they hear about coronavirus, they get so frightened, they get so afraid. But for me, I see it like just a cold, you know, like a cold that you can kill with anything. Like for me, I had not taken drugs for 27 years. And I got the coronavirus one time that I was sure of. I mean, I got sick many times, but one time I was sure of that. But there are simple things I did that heal me faster. So when we talk about truth, for example, I mean, there's no one construction that you can assume that it is the truth for universal, because people think and reason differently so many places. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about truth, generally speaking, it's a kind of very vast area that we have to be very careful how we talk about truth, because what you understand as truth in America, I will understand it different in Africa.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a little bit deep for me. Yeah. So usually I would take from other people, take things that I mean can help me, and give to other people things that I got I can help them. Because, for example, when you go in the medical field, there are so many things people do here, how they heal people here, and the way people heal people in Africa is kind of different. If you have a good hygiene, or you have respect for elderly, or if you don't use profanity, it make you healthy. But I mean, if you tell someone that in America, they be like, what he's talking about, hygiene, or speaking profanity, or, you know, respecting women. But where I come from, they believe that if you respect women, if you respect the elderly, if you keep good hygiene, you keep clean, you'll be healthy. You see what I'm saying? You exercise, eat right. You see what I'm saying? We don't believe in too much drugs on that side. We believe in certain things. Like we believe that like water. We use water a lot, so many ways for healing. You know what I'm saying? But if you tell somebody in America, say, look, I can use water, I can use exercise, I use certain things for healing, they wouldn't understand me. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on your culture, your perception, your environment in which you brought it in. That's my understanding. So truth is kind of a little bit deep for me.
We are all one. We have a different view of truth. We need to hear all dimensions of truth from all. May we find a common truth to achieve justice for all, which will lead to peace for all.
Truth is shining a light in a way that leads to healing and maintaining healing. It's about the connection, not about the convincing.
Because this is a very important issue when it comes to dealing with peace. Because there are a lot of people, truth cause damage for a lot of people. A lot of people, truth cause a lot of war. A lot of people, truth, in fact, that because of people, truth, that what got my country was at war, I lose half of my family.
Where do we begin to decipher how and where we are going as a group? Because we all have such diverse backgrounds and upbringing. We're still searching for the real truth and understanding, but with peace and understanding, with love.
Then give it to yourself. Give yourself some love. Appreciate yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being alive. Rub your hands together and give each other some love. Love you. Rub your hands one more time and then give some peace and love out to everyone in the world. Thank you.
Oh.